And with that, we will call to order the Stillwater Economic Development Authority meeting and move to the consent docket. Counselors, is there any discussion or action on the consent docket?
Motion to approve consent docket.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, the consent docket is approved. And that takes us down to general orders, and we have Carrie Moore here to give us the Chamber Economic Development Quarterly Report.
I don't know where the crowd went. We have lots of fun things to update
Sorry,
you
I
guys
should have
about.
ordered that differently.
Just kidding. You told me it was what? Shift F5. Thank you. I always forget. Maybe. Okay. So you guys got the full report, but the highlight reel is way better. First point of contact, we have partnered with the Department of Commerce, you guys probably saw, and the city and Kingspan to make the official announcement that Kingspan Roofing and Waterproofing selected Stillwater for their manufacturing facility. We did touch in the last meeting that we were awarded that project, but they were not ready to release their name. They are, and they are excited to partner with Stillwater, so we're excited to have them. We met with 3 site selectors directly following the Dallas event that I will talk on more in a little bit, and have communicated directly with 6 total site selectors about Stillwater's capabilities as more of our proactive approach rather than simply just waiting to respond to the RFPs and RFIs. We are working specifically to help fill the old Red Lobster location. It is very visual. It's a prime spot. I've met with 2 different like seafood and steakhouse restaurant companies that are interested in Stillwater, but it would be 2026 before they're at a place to come. So we're still looking, but that is on our radar and we are actively working on that. We have submitted Commerce Place to 3 different RFP responses. We met with 2 different developers to discuss different opportunities with that. And then we also met with 2 different economic development professionals to discuss how do we approach that space in a very intentional way that prevents lots being sold and then sitting empty, or buildings being built on it with nothing in them. So we're really working to make sure that when we are ready to move on Commerce Place, we have a good long-term sustainable plan for it. As well as we had 16 RFP opportunities come through. We responded to 6 of them. Should I take questions at the end or as I go? What would you prefer?
You can keep going.
Okay.
We'll maybe ask again.
Marketing materials, this is the one I'm most excited about. We finalized our contract. We're actually going to be working with the O'Calley Media Department, and this is a 5-year contract. So this is really sustainable. We're going to get a 2 to 2.5 minute recruitment video, which will be telling Stillwater's story. The theme of that is going to be Stillwater, where tradition meets tomorrow. And so it's going to be really rooted in Stillwater and what makes it great, but also talking about all the great opportunity that there is here. That partnership has been wonderful. It will also include 2 30-second commercial versions. Those commercials will be intentionally aired on certain flights coming in and out of the hubs where those site selector hubs are around conferences where there will be site selector conferences. So we've already talked to like American Airlines and some of those on how that works with getting those on those specific flights. The goal with that would be they see us on the flight going to these conferences, they see us at the conference, and then they see us as they leave the conference. So it's those 3 touch points and really making Stillwater stand out. Target completion for that video is the 16th of December. And I'm hoping to air that on New Year's Day, just as like we'll see, hopefully. Working with Bearden Services to finalize the website. I did submit final changes this week, and so we're expected to go live November 15th. I'm really excited for that. I know that has been in the works a long time, even prior to me coming. So we will send out a soft opening or a soft review of that prior to it going live for everyone to see. And then printed materials, we have provided different traffic pins, trade demographics, area analysis to different developers. I do wish that my meeting with Mr. Williams that is on Wednesday would have been prior to today, because we could have provided some data that would have helped you guys understand in the community either way. Wouldn't have maybe changed a vote, but maybe just given that story in numbers. So that's okay. We can only do so much at a time, but those are the kinds of things we're doing with creating printed materials. We have also worked with 3 different employers and put together 26 different welcome packets as recruitment tools, as different colleges on campus are recruiting or bringing in new staff and faculty, but also private entities as well. So that has been exciting. Retention and expansion. We've completed 2 top 10 employer surveys, 22 primary business surveys. We did that as part of our small business university. And then we also are working 2 different expansion projects. So 18 businesses actually graduated from the small business university program. 2 have opened up storefronts on Main Street. 1 has expanded their business model to fill a gap in our local technology support needs, which is pretty exciting. 3 company introductions to the Oklahoma Finance Authority, which is supplying grants and getting funding into those as they're wanting to expand. And then we did a really great partnership with NSARC, which is National Standard as we know it, and they have rebranded, and then Meridian Technology on National Manufacturing Day. We had 25 different people in attendance, 9 different companies that were not previously working with National Standard, did not know that they have now expanded their business model to include welding wire, and then they were able to see the research and development that is going on site with that, and some new partnerships have formed. Previously, some of those companies were sourcing that material from out of state, and now they're looking at a partnership to source it not just within Oklahoma but Stillwater specifically. So really proud of that event.
So I do have a quick question for you on that one. Top 10, what's the difference between top 10 and primary business? Who are the primary businesses?
Primary businesses are companies who the majority of their product is exported out of Stillwater.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. We did purchase Placer AI, and we have done 3 training sessions total with that as part of that purchase, 2 local retail locations and 1 development site, and 1 developer received data so far. So as we're learning to utilize that software and making sure we're pulling that data correctly and we know what it means when we pull it, we are slowly working through processes on how do we get that out, but get it out with the correct explanation of what that data means. We did fill the economic development administrative assistant position. We hired a gentleman named Caleb Eves. He has been a phenomenal addition to the team and really helped offset. His strengths are behind a computer and with numbers and data and processes. And so as mine are more interpersonal, we balance really well, and we've been able to be more efficient in that way. He's currently building a document that tracks property data and metrics to help us develop a more proactive approach on RFPs. So as we're receiving property data to go into our Catalyst website, he actually puts it into a document where as we get an RFP and we have to find out how much water or electricity it uses, he can plug that in and it will pull up all the properties that meet that requirement. So it's been really cool to watch him to build that, and I'm really proud of that hire. So. Business recruitment, we attended 1 site selection event at Globe Life Field in August, and then we sponsored and attended the site selection or the Select Oklahoma Conference for Economic Development in August as well. So both of those were great events. Again, we had some good relationships built. I expanded on some of that a little bit more in the full report, but we will continue. And we've also got, by going to those, a good idea of what we need to be taking when we go to bigger opportunities. And that's all I have.
Counselors, any comments or questions?
I have one quick question on the RFP list that you provided to us. There's several of these that there's that they list they would support 125 new jobs or 250 to 300 new jobs. When we're talking about this, what types of jobs, and you may or may not be at liberty to say this, but what types of jobs are we talking about when we're talking about 100 and some odd new jobs in Stillwater?
So sometimes we get what's called the NAICS code with that, and we're able to identify what kind of jobs that they would be and whether or not they'd be a good fit for Stillwater. Sometimes we just get a really vague description of what this company is wanting to do, so we don't always know, unfortunately.
All right, thank you.
I was just going to say, I love the branding of your tradition meets, where tradition meets tomorrow. I think that's really cool.
Thank you.
I'm excited to see a video.
Me too. It's going to be great. Okay. Anything
Counselors,
else?
anything else? Thank you.
Oh, I had one more thing.
Yes.
I'm sorry. There was one of the things you mentioned in the report that committed Stillwater to attend the 2025 Select Oklahoma Greenville, South Carolina recruitment event.
Yeah.
Say a little bit more about that.
So Greenfield is one of those hubs where site selector companies meet. And so this year we had the opportunity to go. When looking at what was needed to make that a successful trip, we just weren't prepared. We just haven't put the foundation there. I didn't feel like it was a responsible use of funds to do that. However, because now I know what it needs to go and to be impactful and to make that a good trip, I've committed to next year, which also helps keep us on track for actually creating the things needed.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, we don't have anything else on our agenda tonight. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to
moved.
adjourn.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, we are adjourned.